Overthinking isn't just a bad habit. It's a silent destroyer of peace, leaving your mind tangled in endless loops that drain your energy. Constant replay of past mistakes, the relentless worry about what's next, and the never-ending need to analyze every moment can quickly turn into a storm that feels impossible to escape. But what if the solution isn't about trying harder to think less, but about shifting the way we approach our thoughts entirely? We're about to share 6 very effective Buddhist lessons that could completely change how you handle your inner chaos. Ready to take control of your mind and find the clarity you've been craving? Let's uncover the wisdom that can bring you back to peace. If you're serious about your personal health, whether you want to stop suffering, get clear guidance on how to stop overthinking, or to be more present in life, now's the perfect time to subscribe to our channel. Like this video if you're ready to grow further as a person. Now, let's continue. Let's start with the first lesson. The past is behind us, and the future is a bit of a mystery, so let's really pay attention to what's happening right now. Isn't it interesting how often we get caught up in the past, feeling regret, guilt, and wishing things had turned out differently? Or we find ourselves stuck in the future, nervously thinking about what's coming next, what might go wrong, or how we can get ready for whatever's out there. But you know what? The past is behind us, and the future hasn't arrived just yet. The teachings of the Buddha really highlight how crucial it is to focus on the here and now. He mentioned, don't get stuck in the past. Don't worry about the future. Just focus on what's happening right now. This teaching invites us to let go of past regrets and future worries, and instead concentrate on the only moment that really matters, the present. Just take a moment to consider this. The time you're in right now, whether you're reading or listening to these words, is the only time you've got. Life happens right here and now, and that's where you can find your peace. When you let yourself be fully in the moment, without drifting off into thoughts about the past or future, you start to feel a greater sense of peace and clarity. As Eckhart Tolle writes in The Power of Now, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. When you start to really embrace the present moment just as it is, overthinking tends to fade away. So, there's this Buddhist story about a monk who was traveling along with his young disciple when they came across a river. The monk calmly made his way across the river, but his disciple just couldn't shake off the worry about crossing. He was really scared that the rushing water might carry him away. The monk saw that his disciple was hesitating and said, "Hey, no need to worry, my friend." Number 2. Think of your thoughts as clouds. Just let them float by without holding on to them. Secondly, sometimes it feels like our thoughts are just too much, like we're sinking under the weight of them. The mind can get pretty messy, kind of like a stormy sky packed with dark clouds. So, the Buddha suggests we think of our thoughts like clouds in the sky, temporary, passing, and always shifting. He mentioned, we create the world with our thoughts. What's important is not to get too caught up in our thoughts. What's important is not to get too caught up in our thoughts or see ourselves as those thoughts. Our thoughts are a bit like clouds floating by in the sky. They pass through without really defining who we are. When we let go of them, we set ourselves free from their hold. Eckhart Tolle writes in The Power of Now, the mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. Picture yourself by a river, just taking in the sight of the water moving along. Check out those leaves drifting down the stream. So, you don't go around trying to grab every single leaf, right? You just let them go by without a second thought, knowing that more leaves will show up soon enough. Just let your thoughts flow in and out. Just don't get too attached or try to control what they do. Just let those thoughts float away like clouds, and you'll see that overthinking starts to fade on its own. Buddha once mentioned, our life is shaped by our mind, because we become what we think. It's a good reminder that when we let go of those negative or racing thoughts, we can really create a life that's clearer and more peaceful. Number 3, overthinking just leads to more suffering, so try to let go of what you can't control. The more we ponder, the more we seem to struggle. We often find ourselves analyzing every possible outcome, stressing over every scenario, and gripping tightly to things we can't control. But this just adds to the stress and anxiety. The Buddha mentioned that it's not the events in our lives that cause suffering, but rather how we respond to them. Basically, it's not what's happening around us that leads to our suffering, but rather how we decide to react to those situations. When we get caught up in overthinking and fixating on things we can't change, we end up bringing unnecessary pain into our lives. It's really important to let go of the need to control everything. Try to embrace what's happening and let go of the idea that you can control everything. It's a big move to help stop the cycle of overthinking. Think about it. Can I actually control this? If that's the case, just let it go. When you let go of the need to control everything, you can really lighten your mind and break free from that endless loop of worry. As Eckhart Tolle writes in The Power of Now, surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. A famous Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, once told a story about someone who was always trying to push a heavy boulder up a hill. They would fight hard, grumble a bit, and pour all their energy into it. But that boulder just wouldn't budge. Thich Nhat Hanh just asked, "Why are you pushing a boulder that isn't moving? Just let go, and you'll see the way forward." This lesson shows us that when we overthink and resist what's happening, it just wears us out. Sometimes, just letting go can really be the most empowering thing we can do. Number 4, take a moment to practice mindfulness. Just focus on your breath to help calm your mind. Mindfulness is all about really focusing on what's happening right now without any judgment. It's all about noticing our thoughts, feelings, and what we're sensing in our bodies, but not letting them take control of us. One of the easiest ways to get into mindfulness is by paying attention to your breath. Whenever your thoughts start to feel like too much, just focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, and then let it out slowly. Every breath helps you stay grounded in the here and now, giving you a chance to calm your thoughts and reset your mind. The Buddha mentioned, when your mind is calm, your breath follows suit. This shows how closely our mind and breath are linked. When we focus on our breath, it helps calm our minds and puts a stop to that endless cycle of overthinking. As Eckhart Tolle writes in The Power of Now, the present moment is the field on which the game of life happens. This moment, right here, is the only one we can control. By practicing mindfulness, you're choosing to ground yourself in that moment, letting go of the distractions that often fuel our worries. Your mind really shapes who you are. What you think is what you become. When you practice mindfulness and pay attention to your breath, you're helping your mind stay calm, focused, and present. The more you practice, the less control overthinking has on you, and the clearer the path becomes to true peace. Number 5. Keeping things simple is liberating. So let's not bog ourselves down with worries that don't really matter. With so many distractions around us, it's pretty simple to make life more complicated than it needs to be. We tend to stress over a lot of things, like our jobs, relationships, how we look, and what's ahead of us. Buddhism suggests that keeping things simple is really what leads to happiness and peace. Simplifying our lives helps us let go of those extra worries that weigh us down. The Buddha frequently talked about how crucial it is to keep things simple, whether it's in our thoughts or what we do. In the Dhammapada, it says, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. So, happiness isn't something you have to go after or stress about too much. You can find it in those little everyday moments. When we simplify our lives, let go of what we don't need, and concentrate on what really matters, we can break free from that endless cycle of overthinking. Zen monks follow a principle known as shibumi, which highlights the beauty found in simplicity. A Zen master once said, "The simpler the life, the more profound the meaning." They realized that by clearing away the mental clutter and zeroing in on what really matters, they could enjoy a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Eckhart Tolle, in The Power of Now, also emphasizes the peace that comes with simplicity, saying, "The more you are able to honor and accept the present moment, the more you are able to bring peace into your life." By embracing simplicity, we create space for peace and clarity, allowing us to truly experience life without the weight of unnecessary worries. The final lesson here with number 6, embrace the idea that everything is temporary. Even your challenges won't stick around forever. Everything has its time, even the tough times and challenges you're dealing with. Buddhist teachings on impermanence really highlight how everything is always changing. Right. It's a reminder that nothing stays the same for long. So even those moments of overthinking fears and anxieties, they're just temporary. They'll pass too. The Buddha mentioned that everything that is conditioned is not permanent. Keep pushing forward with determination. This teaching encourages us to believe that everything, whether it's good or bad, will eventually shift. Sometimes, overthinking happens because we're worried about things being permanent. It seems like we might be stuck in this tough spot forever. When we realize that everything is temporary, it becomes easier to let go of our worries and find peace in the understanding that change is always around the corner. Nothing lasts forever. Everything can change. Getting a grip on this truth makes it easier to realize that our struggles will eventually fade, and we don't have to let overthinking take over our lives. Eckhart Tolle, in The Power of Now, echoes this wisdom, saying, "Nothing ever happened in the past that can prevent you from being present now, and nothing will ever happen in the future that can prevent you from being present now." Embracing the impermanence of all things, including our difficulties, helps us stay grounded in the present and trust that change will bring relief. To wrap things up, overthinking doesn't have to control your life. By shifting your mindset and embracing the wisdom of impermanence, mindfulness, and simplicity, you can start letting go of unnecessary worries. Recognize that overthinking only adds to your stress, while living in the present moment brings clarity and peace. Trust that everything, including your challenges, is temporary, and with time, things will shift. So, take a deep breath, let go of what you can't control, and remember that peace is found in simplicity and acceptance. With practice, your mind will naturally calm, and overthinking will lose its grip. As Eckhart Tolle beautifully says, the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Keep things simple in your life. Believe in the fact that everything is temporary, and remember that even your challenges won't stick around forever. Don't forget, your mind is an incredibly powerful tool. If you keep at it and stay patient, you can teach it to focus, relax, and discover some peace. Let's keep growing together on this path of self-discovery. Subscribe to our channel for daily inspiration and grow as a person. Comment the word "now" and like the video to show your support. Also, consider sharing this video with someone who could use some encouragement to slow down and enjoy life more fully.